the 8th. Oh my god. I just made that correlation. That's funny as hell. The Hateful Eight is the 8th usage of the number 8. The 8th film by Quentin Tarantino, and it contains a lot of previous actors who have been in his previous films and a lot of new ones. Basically what this movie's about, it takes place 6 or 8 or 12 years, that's actually what it says in the plot on IMDb, many years after the Civil War, and is about Kurt Russell trying to transport a female prisoner to this town for her to get hung. But unfortunately, a blizzard hits them and they're forced to stay in a cabin with 7 other individuals. But during their stay, Kurt Russell and Samuel L. Jackson find out that someone in the cabin is not saying who they really are. And they question whether or not they are with this individual that they're trying to transport, and if their motives include freeing her and killing everybody in the cabin. So yeah, I was really looking forward to The Hateful Eight because I really loved Django Unchained, which was the last film that Quentin Tarantino made. And I was really excited that he was going back to this kind of Western feel because, like, you know, Django Unchained was a Western movie, and he did a really good job with that film. He put together a really good spaghetti Western, and after that, I was very inviting of him to go back to this Western style film. And he really has done it again. It has a classic Western feel, it has classic Western tension in the dialogue and everything that the characters do in the film, in the cabin. And it was a really good ride. And that's really funny that I'm saying that because the majority of the film is actually dialogue driven. Like, there is action, there is gore, there is that Quentin Tarantino gore, but I was really liking the movie for its dialogue. And Quentin Tarantino movies are really known for that. Yes, they have their over-the-top action, they have their over-the-top gore, but we really like the dialogue in Quentin Tarantino movies. And I got 3 hours of that. Yes, this is a 3-hour movie. And a really good reason why I really like this movie is because it was a movie, okay? It was an actual movie set, there were actual actors in the movie, but to me, it felt like a play. It really did have that feel of a play. It felt like, yes, there were actors and actresses in this movie, but like, it felt like they were actually acting. Like, they were giving over-the-top performances. Like, if somebody was playing a hillbilly, they'd be like, "Who the hell are you?" Like, it was just like so over-the-top, and like, it actually felt like I was watching performers on a set. And it really did have that kind of like play atmosphere because they are in one location for a majority of the film, and it's dialogue driven. Like I said, the acting in the film is very over the top. It's not forced or anything like that, but everybody's on the same level. I wasn't really looking for a favorite performance in this film, but I did have a lot of favorite characters in this film. Like Tim Roth's character, the Englishman. I thought he was really, really out of nowhere. Like, I was watching a Western, and I wasn't expecting this, like, you know, funny Englishman to be in this cabin with these individuals, and I thought he was a really nice touch, and I really liked him in the film. And Walton Goggins' character as this new Southern sheriff, probably the definition of over-the-top performance in this film. Very Southern, very, like, not forced, but like, you know, it's very out there. "I'm sorry, sir, do I know you?" You can tell, like, it's just like really over the top. But I absolutely enjoyed it, really did. And another thing that I kind of noticed in this film is there really isn't a main protagonist. I guess you can say that Samuel L. Jackson is the protagonist in this film, considering that we see him most often, but really we don't have a protagonist in this film. Everyone in this film really isn't a good character. These are essentially like criminals or, you know, just bad people from a previous war. And I love that idea in this film. There's really not a sense of good in this film. You can only kind of agree with somebody if you're on their side. You kind of have to pick sides in this film. And justice is actually a major theme in this film. Like, they actually touch upon like social justice and all these other different justices. And all these characters are like really symbolic because they represent kind of their own justice, their own points of views. Going back to Samuel L. Jackson, I really did like him in this film because like in other Quentin Tarantino movies, he's over the top. He's like everywhere, and he's like, you know, throwing F-bombs and stuff like that. Not that I don't like that, I love that about Samuel L. Jackson in a Quentin Tarantino film, but I will say what I really liked about him in this film is that this is his most subtle performance that I really have seen, especially in a Quentin Tarantino film. There is a part in the third act of the film where, like, you know, he finally goes crazy, but like during like the portion of the film, you kind of actually respect this dude. And circling around that character, the movie actually goes into certain themes about what was transpiring after the Civil War. Like, it goes into how Confederates were, like, you know, treating African Americans still, how they thought about African Americans. And it goes back to like that one theme I mentioned earlier about certain points of views and kind of how they felt after the war. I just love these themes that were in the movie that were presented like through these characters. Quentin Tarantino is like really good at social commentary, and you saw a lot of that in Django Unchained. And if you're looking for that same social commentary about African Americans, you're gonna find it in this film. It's like really interesting stuff, and it really sucks that people are always judging Quentin Tarantino because like, oh, he uses too much gore in his films. This guy is smart. He knows what he's talking about, and I like his points of views on things. Like, he's a really good social commentator. So yeah, guys, absolutely enjoyed the film. Loved it. This is Quentin Tarantino's 8th film. So if you haven't seen this film, go ahead and watch it. It's really good. It was a really good way to end 2015. And speaking of which, I will be coming out with a video soon presenting you guys with my top 10 picks of the films of 2015. These are gonna be my personal films, and I can't wait to present this video to you guys. Stay tuned, please subscribe, so you can be notified when the video is posted. Comment down below what you thought of the movie, like the video, share it, and please subscribe to Pixel Talk if you haven't yet. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.